we have another speaker now, and it brings me really great pleasure to welcome him to the stage because I know him on a personal level. I know him on a professional level. He is just the most amazing man, and he is a MOE trustee now. He is Darren's brother, one of, and he is the founder of Lighthouse Healing Academy as well. So he's been all over the world with his work and has thought about things in a very holistic way. But today he's going to tell us a story of MOE, I think. Jon Robson, everybody.
Cheers. Don't actually know how you follow those guys. They were pretty good. Thank you everyone for coming here today. It's such a beautiful day to be here with you, to hear some wonderful stories from members of the MOE community. And to celebrate the life and legacy of Dow. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I nearly brought a prop with me today. I was going to bring a little cutting board with half an onion sort of chopped up. So if I ever sort of choke up, Sam did an excellent job of controlling that. I probably might not do as good a job. We'll see how we go. But I was going to just point to that and like, who's cutting onions? So I'm here to talk about legacy and the ripple effects of Dow's life. And growing up with an elder brother like Darren was such a blessing in this life. He's always been such a force of nature, since we were kids. Well, he was older than me. He was 10 and a half years older than me. So he was such a force of nature. And I know I speak for all three of us. I actually spoke with Nick and Nadine last night. I walked them through my talk and shared it with them to get their sort of green light on it. And Nadine said she can't be here with us today, but she's here with us in heart and spirit and soul. She's looking after kids with some autism spectrum works, and she felt she really needed to be there, but she's here with us in heart and spirit. But I know I speak for them both when I say that it was such a blessing to have him as an older brother. He helped us to see our gifts and our talents. He really helped us to realize the gift of us and to bring it to the world, and to help us to find our place in the world. He helped us, to evolve beyond our humble beginnings and to grow through life, through many of the twists and turns and the real challenges we faced. And it was a beautiful gift to have him. And I know he's been that for so many of you here today too. It's been wonderful to hear the stories of some of you that say, you feel his energy in your life, you feel his presence in your life, you feel him in moments of sharing like little moments and personal jokes that only you two would kind of understand and get. And that's wonderful to know that he still is present in the energy field, and he still has an impact on people's lives. I met with Catherine Tolper last week. I'm not sure if she made it here. Oh, there she is. She's got it. And I shared with her a poem that was in our living room as we grew up. It was such an influential poem for us as we grew up, and it was one that was important for Darren. I'm not quite sure when my mum decided to put it on the wall, but there is probably a moment where I could probably imagine it would have been a good point for her to put it up there. I'm going to read you that poem and then talk about some of those lessons that we experienced from it. So the poem, those of you who know Darren, you might know this was important to him. It was one called Indispensable Advice. So it goes. One day when you're feeling important, one day when your ego's in bloom, one day when you're feeling that you're the most important or intelligent person in the room, one day when you feel like your going would leave an unfillable hole, just follow these simple instructions and see how they humble your soul. Take a bucket and fill it with water. Put your hand in up to the wrist. And when you remove it, the hole that's remaining is a measure of how much you'll be missed. You can splash all you want when you enter. You can mix up the water galore, but remove it and you'll find that in no time, looks much the same as before. The moral of this quaint little story is to do just the best that you can. Be proud of yourself. But remember, there's no indispensable man. Yeah, or woman. Yeah, that one. But it did say man, so you can tell when Mum might have had it up on the wall. Like, yeah, that was Yeats. Yeah. And so that poem, it taught us a lot. It taught us humility. It taught us to sort of, to do the best that we can in this world, be proud of ourselves, but, like to take ourselves lightly. In the video, I think the quote was taken out at the end, but one of the things is, one of the quotes that was Dow shared in his TED Talk is, Mum said, like, don't take life or yourself too seriously. None of us are getting out of it alive. And I thought that was pretty good. But there's a little bit of a darker side to that story. So there's those sort of good lessons and those good learnings. But I think there's the darker, more challenging side of it is that sometimes you might not realize oh God, you might not realize the hole that you leave behind. And some holes, as we've found, are harder to fill than others. But water being a symbol often for emotion, sometimes what fills the space of someone's presence, or the transformation into the new form, in the energy form, which takes a little bit of an adjustment to get used to as well, even if you are spiritually minded. Water is a symbol for emotion, and so sometimes that's what fills the hole, that's what fills the space, is all of the emotions that you feel, all of the fears that arise, we talked about, all of the grief, the guilts, the shames, the everything, the anger, all of the different emotions you feel. And every one of us, over the last few months have been working, for 18 months, since Dal passed, I've been working through that journey in our own way. I've been working with a friend of mine. She's a grief specialist, Christy West, and I've been working with her for a few months now. And she has, she's been working in grief for many years, and she's got a beautiful thing that she says is how she helps people. Is I help people heal completely from grief, so that they can think about, talk about, and love their people that have died without it hurting them anymore. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I've made real progress, believe it or not. Over the past few months, I've made some real progress. And I felt it was funny because I knew it was a bit of an ironic joke to myself and her. But the week leading up to this, I said, like, I feel pretty solid. I feel pretty good. I think I might nearly complete therapy. I nearly completed this thing. But I said, but I'll book a session for the week after the conference, just in case. Just in case it brings up anything and there's any loose ends for us to tie up. So yeah, I'll be talking with Christy on Wednesday. Yeah, that'll be the last one. Maybe one or two more. We'll see how we go. One of the major problems I was really struggling with was like carrying the weight of a man like that. Like, how do I help to share his legacy and carry that forwards? And I've got pretty big shoulders. We were kind of blessed with kind of a big body, if you like. But even they were feeling pretty heavy and feeling the pressure. And it was a so beautiful session. She sat with me and she said, well, let's look at it. Let's look at Dow's legacy. Let's look at his life. Let's take an honest stock of his life and look through all of the people that he's impacted, all the lives he's touched, and the ripple effects of that. And so we looked through, he's like I say, he was such a gift to us as in our family. But as you know, like this force of nature that he was, like Maisie and Sam and Jeffrey and everyone here today is either directly or indirectly has been impacted by Dow. So this is more ripple effects that I can look at after this session. And I was able to sort of see the impact Dow had on so many people's lives and how that changed the world. And he has changed the world. with every new face I saw, with every new person, every story I recalled about the ways in which he's touched people's lives, I just felt the lightness return. And I felt the weight coming off of my shoulders, because he was an absolute. I nearly did swear. He was an absolute legend, and so he made the job of looking for the gift of his legacy much easier. And so with every new ripple effect I saw, and with every new person I saw that he touched, and I felt lighter and lighter and lighter. And as you feel lighter and you move through some of those emotions that you feel, you actually can feel somebody more. You actually can feel the presence of them more easily. And so that was lovely. That was a good side effect of seeing that legacy. Dow changed the world in so many ways. Some of the things that you might not know that we wanted to share with you and talk about is some of the things he got up to. So he did this thing called the Great Football Giveaway in Tanzania, where he delivered, someone from this room might have actually been there with him on that journey. I'm not sure, but they gave away a load of footballs to disadvantaged children. So they could play. And anyone that knows Darren, like, he loved football. He loved playing it. He swore he actually got his scar. I remember the story where he was playing football out in Tanzania, and he's a bit competitive. I think he had a clash of heads or something, and he got his scar. And for those that sort of know Darren's energy, he really loves his football nickname. He was always called DIY Robson. Because he would literally pick up the ball from like defense and try and run it all the way up and score at the other end of the goal. And it was actually one of those nicknames that he didn't mind. He didn't mind the old DIY Robson. He was quite driven. Another thing they did also in Tanzania was he helped to build a chicken farm. And they gifted 300, I think with Carlo, I think it was probably there, I'm sure. No, not this one. 300 chickens to the village to help them to become self-sustainable. He also did a thing called Fishing in Nature, where he helped underprivileged children to get together and do some fishing in nature. And of course, like the thing that was at the start of the MOE Foundation, which was Embakum, taking all of the inner city children out to a place to build something together and to experience that. And then MOE and everything that's happened with MOE over the last 12 years. And Nick's going to talk more into that later on. One of the aspects I do in this organization is to hear the stories of the lives Dow's touched and the ways he's touched them. So if you have any stories, make sure you tell me. Another part is just listening to our charity partners and hearing what the amazing work that they do and how we get to support them in any way we can. And it's so beautiful to hear that, to hear how we're working together as a team to support one another, to just make the world a different place. And so that's it really. It's like, for every course we deliver at MOE, for every new coach that gets certified and goes out there in the world, for every conversation and coaching session they deliver, for every deliberate act of loving kindness that gets spread around the world, we're helping to create these waves of change. And the hope is that at some point we will turn the tide in our favor. And with each new wave, we start to make this world more of the world that we would love to live in and less one that we feel that we need to escape from.
Thank you, Jon. Whew, what a morning. What a beautiful morning. Considering Jon found out he was going to speak last night as well. So that was absolutely amazing. And from knowing Darren, he would have absolutely loved that. That was very emotional for me to even get through, but I appreciate that. And it was really from the heart. And I think that was felt in this room as well.